Rajiv also demonstrated the feasibility of intensifying our time-tested relationship with the Soviet Union, while building new bridges of understanding with the US and diversifying our relations with the European community and such key new players on the international stage such as Germany and Japan.
Rajiv Gandhi's address to Congress is still being talked about as the moment when a lot of members of the American Parliament, the American Congress, woke up to the idea that this was a country you have to pay attention to and take seriously. And it had all the right elements, self-deprecating humor.
It was Indian tea that stimulated your independence movement.
Humor, but also a very serious message anchored in India's traditional foreign policy approaches, asking America to do the right things in terms of what India stood for in the world.
Rajiv's was an inspiring vision of India, a comprehensive vision of the role of India in the world, and India restored to the vanguard of human progress.
He was full of energy, and that energy used to radiate. Whoever used to come in contact with him, that energy used to get transferred, the atmosphere used to get completely surcharged.
The starting point of Rajiv's vision of India was his immense pride in the remarkable capacity our civilization has shown to base its unity in diversity. Unique among world civilizations, India for over 5,000 years has not merely learned to live with diversity and not merely learned to tolerate diversity, but has been the living embodiment of the celebration of diversity.
People can accuse him of being anything, because politics, people are accused all the time. But I do know that here was a man who, if you want to find an icon of secularism, the comfortable secularist, as I call it, will be Mr. Rajiv Gandhi.
Quite evidently, Rajiv was following in the footsteps of his grandfather, Jawaharlal Nehru.
What do you find similar in steering an aeroplane and steering the largest democracy?
That's a very difficult question. I think the biggest similarity is discipline. You've got to have good discipline in both places, otherwise things go wrong.
Before our exams, we have sleepless nights, and you have to face situations that are similar to examinations. Do you have sleepless nights?
No, not at all.
He's too tired, perhaps.
Wherein his chief struggle was to build modern India against those political and communal forces whose conception of India was narrower than this large-hearted, humanistic vision of our nationhood. Rajiv's primary struggle through the short but packed years of his political career was against those who define India and her heritage in constricted, chauvinistic terms.
Question of empowerment of women, be it a question of complete involvement of people in the rural areas in the process of governance, be it in the question of revolution in the field of science and technology, and above all, the need to adapt itself to a global scenario through an economic liberalization. All these issues were basically conceived by him. Iska ek originality Rajiv ji ka hai.
Rajiv Gandhi was born in the year 1944 into India's most famous political family. His grandfather, Jawaharlal Nehru, became India's first Prime Minister after independence. Rajiv's father, Firoz, was one of the younger members of the Indian National Congress Party and had befriended Rajiv's mother, the young Indira, while working on party affairs at Allahabad, and the family settled in Allahabad and then at Lucknow. In 1949, Indira and the two sons moved to Delhi to live with Jawaharlal. His father, Firoz, died from a second heart attack in 1960. By the time of his father's death, Gandhi was away at a private boarding school for boys, initially at the Welham Boys' School and later the Doon School. He was sent to London in 1961 to do his A-levels. In 1962, he was offered a place at Trinity College, Cambridge, to study engineering. Rajiv stayed at Cambridge until 1965, and in 1966, he was offered a place at the Imperial College, London. It was in the January of 1965 he met his bride-to-be, Sonia Minor, in the Varsity Restaurant in Cambridge. Sonia was studying English at the Lennox School of Languages. The two were married in 1968. He began working for Indian Airlines as a professional pilot, while his mother became Prime Minister in 1967. He exhibited no interest in politics, while his younger brother, Sanjay, became a close advisor to their mother. In 1970, Sonia gave birth to their first child, Rahul Gandhi, and in 1972 to Priyanka Gandhi, their second. Rajiv remained aloof in politics. Rajiv came into prominence only following his younger brother's death in 1980, when he was pressured by Indian National Congress Party politicians and his mother to enter politics. He eventually announced his candidacy for Parliament. He fought his first election from Amethi Lok Sabha seat. Elected to Sanjay's Lok Sabha parliamentary constituency of Amethi in Uttar Pradesh state in February 1981, Gandhi became an important political advisor to his mother. It was widely perceived that Indira Gandhi was grooming Rajiv for the Prime Minister's job, and he soon became the president of the Youth Congress, the Congress Party's youth wing. Gandhi was in West Bengal when his mother was assassinated on 31st October 1984 by her bodyguards, within hours of his mother's assassination. Soon after assuming office, Rajiv asked President Zail Singh to dissolve Parliament and hold fresh elections, as the Lok Sabha completed its 5-year term. Rajiv Gandhi also officially became the president of the Congress Party. The Congress Party won a landslide victory with the largest majority in the history of Indian Parliament, giving Gandhi absolute control of government. He also benefited from his youth and a general perception of being Mr. Clean or free of a background in corrupt politics. At the time that Rajiv took over as Prime Minister, India was facing grave political crises that were threatening her unity and integrity. A young and dynamic Rajiv moved forward to make peace with rebellious Sikhs in Punjab, agitating students in Assam and unreconciled guerrillas in Mizoram, bringing them back into an electoral process they had preferred to subvert. Even in Punjab, where the process of reconciliation was disrupted by the assassination of Sant Longowal and the pusillanimity of his successors, the accord concluded by Rajiv remains the only viable solution. Equally, the only path to peace and normalcy in the Valley of Kashmir is the path charted out by Rajiv after his return from Srinagar in 1990. Rajiv had a deep and abiding faith in democracy. He was, however, deeply concerned that our constitution provided adequate safeguards for democracy only at the centre and at the state level, but not at the local self-government. This he saw as the root cause of the failure of the Panchayati Raj to flourish and for the moribund state in which most municipalities round the country were languishing.
हमारी सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि हमारा लोकतंत्र है। इसे हमें बचाना है, मजबूत करना है। हम एक होकर मंजिलें चाहें, भारत को महान बनाएं।
His concept was, his vision was that how to make the public participants in our democracy go into people's homes, and there he would talk to them. So as a result of that, he felt that they didn't really feel a part of government, which in a democracy they must feel.